Happy Monday morning. So this is a topping cabinet that the compressor shorted to ground. So we gotta get that swapped out. This unit's 5 years old. It had some drama back in the day. The topping rail, it's a cabinet that has like a rail inside of it. The topping rail had a leak that I found, confirmed by isolating it. And then the store opted to not fix the leak and instead to just close off the system. So they don't use the top rail, but they do use the cabinet. So it's like, oh, easy enough, little compressor, but look, you can't get to anything in here. So I've got the condensing unit unhooked. I've got the condensing unit unhooked. And I've dry fitted, just looking at how this is, and we're gonna have to change this angle a little bit. But yeah, so what we're gonna have to do, at first I went, okay, I gotta change the dryer anyway, which I've got a new dryer, right? So we're gonna unsweat this, we're gonna unsweat this, and then I can pull out the whole condensing unit. But I cannot, because this is the suction line coming back. Now there's nowhere for me to do any, I can't get in here behind the receiver. I'm gonna have to unbolt this receiver and move it out of the way to make this connection. So I don't think there's any good way for me to do this. I'm gonna end up pulling the fan off, everything to get. So instead I chased the suction line back, right, to this T. And this is in a place I can work. So I'm gonna unsweat this, and I'm gonna bring this whole section of pipe and condensing unit out, go put it on my work table, and then get to the torching magic. So we've already recovered the charge. It wasn't anything but a couple ounces. So system's open right now. Pulled the shredders. All right, let me grab my stuff. Bada bing. Okay, so right, torched this out, torched this out, torched that out. I have to do these two still. So now that I have it out and I can get around it, I think I'm just gonna wet rag this fan and everything and just try and make my disconnect right. We're gonna disconnect this, we're gonna disconnect that. Look at how they ran this. Terrible. Just whatever. This will be the first thing we pipe back in, because with this here, this is more challenging, right? So we're going to remove this, going to set the new compressor in place. Going to make that connection. Going to make this connection. Then going to remove the dryer, put the dryer back on, put it back in position. Tap, tap, tap. Draw a vacuum and gas her up. Look, so this is the new one. I haven't bolted it in place yet. This is what I was mentioning earlier. Look at the difference of that angle. Just runs slap into the fan. So we're gonna have to very gently angle this stem up to not pinch that, but to allow this to seat. All right, so we noted the direction of the flow of the dryer. So new dryer, suction line coming back, discharge line coming out. Some of those torches better than others, but nonetheless, use the mirror, get all the way around, make sure we're good. So those are set. So now 1, 2, 3, we're gonna set it in place, and yeah, hopefully be on the home stretch here. All right, I had this thing about not editing out my screw-ups because I feel like one person's screw-ups can help someone else. I've got this all set in. I felt really good about all the welds. I put some pressure on it, and it was leaking from freaking here. The worst connection possible. Right on the back of that fan. Tiny leak, but there it was. Hang on, let me put some real pressure in this thing here. So, as I'm lamenting how the heck, because I can't pull this whole thing out again because I've torched those in. So you can see, I actually went with the wet rag, and I put wet rag all over the back of the motor and all over the stem of the compressor. And wet rag is a mess. I don't love using it because, I mean, it leaves a real mess. But when it came to not blowing out that, melting down that motor, it's what I wanted to do. So, but I was able to get in there, torch another booger on there, and now we're holding pressure. So I'm gonna put some more in it, put about 200 PSI on the head side. And then we're gonna put some Big Blue, draw a vacuum, and gas her up. Whew, excuse me. All right, turn the vacuum off for a second just so I can talk through this real quick with you. So again, this has been Frankenstein. I put a hard start kit on it before, so that means my actual line into the compressor I've got on Wagos. So when I unhook the compressor, I put red tape on it, and then you have your condensing fan motor that I had to unhook and get out of the way. I put blue tape on it, and I've got blue on the Wago ends, so that when it goes back together, I don't have to think. I'm not a real smart guy, so, and I'm very, even more so, easily distracted. So this way, I take the stupid out of it. All right, 20 ounces in. Everything fired up, fan running, compressor running. Nice pressures. Now again, there's a heavy load on that inside, and there's a receiver here. So I'm half tempted to give it a little bit of extra charge in case, because this unit has a receiver because it has a rail, but obviously the rail is cut off, so that itself should free up more refrigerant into the system. Give it a few minutes, let the cabinet cool down. This one should be a wrap. Clean up, put my cover back on. Whoop, whoop. 40. Dropping quick. Beautiful. Let's see what she set for. Temperature set 31. Let's see what the differential is. 6, so 32 and 6. That worked. Alright, I'm messing up with the door open. She's cooling down. We're gonna wait for it to satisfy, and then that's a wrap.